And you have just crossed the line. End of debate. Report to the cargo bay and remain there until this is over. Is that understood?
Because I'm not in the mood.
What is that from?
Because
I'm not in the mood.
Something, a meeting in the ladies' room.
Right. Oh, right. Oh, it's Don't Slap Me. Because I'm not in the mood. That song is a jam.
It always is. Always and forever.
Let me tell you how ahead of its time that song was. Because isn't she have a line where she says, you're a BW, a basic woman?
Yes.
She called somebody basic 40 years ago, bitch.
Yeah.
But then also there's a line that I've never been able to figure out. Something about, but something about he's wearing the yellow Kansai sweater that I bought. But is it a yellow Kansai sweater?
Meaning that she bought it for him.
But is it like what? Is it a yellow Kansai sweater?
Yeah, that's the label.
Was there a label? Was there a label called Kansai? I've never heard of Kansai.
Oh, darling.
Yeah, so I just made it up when I was singing. I'd be like, that yellow Kansai sweater that I bought, but I totally thought I was saying the wrong thing because I've done that. That's one of the few things I've actually done in drag.
Because you're a BW, a basic woman.
Yes.
Speaking of basic, Miss Booby ain't never heard of Jasmine Sullivan.
I love Jasmine Sullivan.
Fabulous, right?
She sings that song, not Black Coffee.
Lions and Tigers and Bears.
Lions and Tigers and Bears, but she also sings that song about coffee. I think it's called Black Coffee.
That's not Bust Your Windows.
No, although I do love Bust Your Windows.
Point is, Booby, get into Jasmine Sullivan, darling.
Yes.
If she's current, that's why I'm not listening to her.
She's around.
Not that current. She's been around.
Although she has new music out. I was just listening to her track called Lost One. It's really good. Oh, it's so good.
You just lost one.
No, not that one.
But have you heard of Jasmine Guy?
Never.
Honey.
Never. Don't try me.
Try me, baby. Try me, baby.
Miss Booby, not all black people look alike, okay? That's Lauryn Hill that you're thinking of, okay? Let's just get it. Don't get it twisted.
I know this.
Don't be a BW.
Lauryn Hill's album, Miseducation of Miss Lauryn Hill, just went diamond about a month ago. Yeah, it just went diamond.
But did it go dirty diamond?
Oh, did it go dirty diamond? No, but I've heard that she loves cock.
Oh, she loves the cock, darling.
Did everybody see RuPaul? The American version.
Yes.
Yep. American.
Okay, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I don't even remember what happened.
Who won? Game.
Oh, that pitiful bad snatch game.
I thought Mick did great as she's hot.
She rocked it. She rocked it.
She looked just like her.
But she looked just like
Simone got robbed. Simone got robbed because Harriet Tubman is such a risk, and she pulled it off. And her runway was devastating.
Yeah.
No, but like Miss Harriet Tubman coming up from under the desk.
See all the white people.
Because see all these white people. Yo, bro, that is funny, man.
She wasn't even top 3. Really?
What did you think of Utica?
I thought it was tired. I actually gagged when she licked the paint, and then watch it again. When they go back to her, she licked actual paint, and you could tell that like she doesn't want to swallow.
Gasping.
And she's gasping.
That's just gasping, desperation, darling. I'm sure she's used to swallowing, darling.
And also, have you noticed that every week, and with special guests, T.S. Madison for the 4th time now? And mind you, I love T.S. Madison
because you know what they're doing because of the pandemic.
COVID.
They would book a guest and keep them. And
right, because they have. That's why you have. I don't think have we seen Carson this season?
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, he was.
He was on. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
That's why they had like Nicole Byer for 2 weeks, who I happen to love.
Those people have to stay in quarantine.
Right.
Oh, because I'm like, oh wow, T.S. Madison for the 3rd time.
She's a good judge, though.
You know what? She's smart and she's really good.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like,
what is she known for?
She better not try to step to Miss Kaya. Okay.
What is T.S. Madison known for? Like
her titties.
What is she?
Her titties. She's a T girl. She's a T girl, and she is. Is that disrespectful?
No.
About to talk about her titties?
Calling her a T girl.
She's a trans woman.
She's a trans woman.
Yeah.
And she's very voluptuous. And I believe that she was also an exotic dancer.
She was a hooker, honey. That bitch was a hoe.
Yeah, like of note.
But what made her become famous?
Her big old titties.
Those big old titties and her funny online videos.
Yeah, she was on the Queen's Court with Kaya, and she does her videos. And she's like, I think she's from Atlanta. She's from Atlanta. Part of that Atlanta scene.
And now she has her own show, I believe, on WoW. And and she's like a
darling who hasn't had their own show on WoW.
A D celebrity.
Well, what do you call it when you are famous but only online? There's a word for that. I think it's called famous.
Oh,
you're famous.
Like that amazing web series, Almost Famous, starring Mike Diamond in 11 episodes. Get into it.
Yeah, get into it, kids.
Somebody.
Listen, the children cannot see my t-shirt.
No, they don't see you, girl.
They don't see my t-shirt, but I want to show my t-shirt and then I will describe it. Boo, okay. I know you'll love this t-shirt.
That's the X-Men?
Yes. Yeah. But you notice, so apprehended, Storm, Cyborg, slain. This is the wanted poster from Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And notice some of them are killed, some of them have been apprehended. Right. Yes. I love my t-shirt. It's so
fabulous.
I
remember when those issues came out.
Well, Age of Apocalypse is my favorite run of X-Men.
Completely.
But the movie X-Men Apocalypse gave me the runs. It was so bad.
Actually, I
didn't hate it.
Oh
I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it, as the children say. I liked it. I did. I liked it.
But speaking of mutants,
none of this has anything to do with Star Trek Voyager.
The inimitable Star Trek Voyager, as we pronounce it in the Caribbean, where I'm from, man. Yes, and today on Fire Chakotay, oh, by the way, this is Mike Diamond.
And this is Miss Matinga.
And this is Booby.
And today we are moving along season 6 of Star Trek Voyager. And today we're doing episode 2 called Survival Instinct.
And Survival Instinct was the second episode of the 6th season of Voyager, the 122nd episode overall of Voyager to have been shot. And it premiered, on September 29th, 1999. But hold on, let me just read you the
brief
synopsis. I'm going to read all of you a brief synopsis of the episode, but this is the synopsis that accompanies the actual episode. I did not write this, but I just thought it was funny. Eager for cultural exchange and friendly contact at a space outpost, Janeway grants shore leave to the crew and rolls out the rubber mat.
She's putting
girl.
She's putting her pecan pie to work.
Honey, that pecan pie showed up twice. What?
Now, are you sure? Does it say rubber mat or welcome mat?
Oh, welcome mat. Welcome mat.
Girl.
Excuse me.
Mama, sorry. Look.
My mistake.
Well, what's a rubber mat?
Mistake.
Well, because when you roll out the rubber mat, this turns into a completely different podcast.
Miss Matinga put herself through beauty school doing shit dates.
Yeah, pulling shit dates on my rubber mats.
With that rubber mat, honey, that was good to
go. Now I get it.
Yes. All right, girl. Well, that's a splashy intro.
Oh my gosh, a great drag king name, Rubber Mat.
Rubber Mat.
Rubber
yes.
Mat. Oh my God.
RUBBA.
Yes.
Are you Rubber Mat? Yeah, I like it. Do you know, do you ever wake up in the middle of the night because a drag queen name has come to you?
Yes.
Bitch, since I've been such an insomniac, and we will get into this episode in a second.
Yes.
Girl, I had to jump out of bed and write it down. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Okay, bring it.
Uta Hagen-Dazs.
Ooh. You know what? I don't hate it.
I don't love it either.
It's not the greatest.
Uta Hagen, like what is it?
Uta Hagen-Dazs.
Like Uta Hagen, the method acting actress and teacher, Uta Hagen.
Yes.
But she also is diabetic, so she Uta Hagen-Dazs.
Oh.
Maybe she's just she's acting like there's ice cream there. I don't know. Okay, look, I think we're avoiding this episode of Voyager.
For a reason, too.
Okay, Booby, why do you say that?
Because it's a shitty episode.
Oh, I gotta.
Well, honey, that's why Janeway rolled out the rubber mat.
See? Thank you for listening to Fire Chakotay. Okay, so
no, it's not a shitty episode.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I watched it on Netflix, and you could change the speed of playback. Right. I watched it at 1.5 speed because I was like, "Yo, this is a slow ass episode. I ain't got no time to sit here. I ain't got 28 minutes for this."
But
I didn't know you could do that in Netflix.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, girl.
Really? And but what happens?
They talk
to
a little
voices?
faster than they normally do, don't they?
Yeah, it's like sped up. I mean, it was
like that's weird.
Okay, so Voyager has docked at some kind of like spaceport.
A good-looking spaceport, I must say.
And so she rolls out the rubber mat, and all these aliens come on board, and there's like a deluge of aliens and gifts, offerings to Voyager.
And shore leave, and the crew also gets to go onto the spaceport, which you never actually see. Right. But they go onto the spaceport and have a little shore leave as well.
Right. And so when we first see Janeway, she's gagging because her ready room is overflowing with gifts. Including a prehensile plant.
Right. Yes. That grabs her.
Which is the best line of the whole show. It's got me by the hair.
It's got me by the hair.
Well, bitch.
Yeah.
We told you to bring your rubber mat.
And you know what? Too many people on Voyager. Like too many.
Well, like
too many.
Like Tuvok says, it's a security risk, and he ain't wrong.
And Tuvok is, not having it. And Miss Janeway, they're having a conversation, Tuvok, Chakotay, and Janeway. And, Tuvok is like, it's too many people and blah, 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 blah. And Janeway's like, listen, this is some diversion. These people seem nice, even though there's been some minor thefts and some little, the same thing that would happen, if you went to, that I'm sure that happens at the Natural History Museum, so that stuff happens. Shit happens when you let people into a building. But she says, no, I'm happy. I'm happy that they're here. And Tuvok gives her a very, well, I'm happy that you're happy.
That you're happy.
I'm so pleased that you're pleased.
He's very
and that's very Tuvakian.
I am pleased that you are pleased.
He's not having it. Chakotay seems bemused. Everybody else is.
But that's a Betty Davis line. Well, I'm so happy that you're happy.
I'm so happy
that you're happy.
Yeah, that's very
although Tuvok does not give it a Betty Davis reading. Although that would have been over.
But like a very dry, slight take on a Betty Davis reading. He does.
I'm so happy you're happy.
Meanwhile, Seven is hanging out with little Naomi Wildman.
Who I want to name check, the actress Scarlett Palmer's, who's just wonderful.
I liked her in this episode, and I don't usually like child actors.
So cute.
She was good with her four little unicorn bumps on her forehead.
And it's a different perspective because she's a child.
Right.
And it's just, I really enjoyed her here.
And her mother,
Naomi.
The mother, Samantha.
Samantha.
Is still alive somewhere.
Is still
working,
playing day or night. Jordache has the look that's right.
She's working 5 to 9, any way to make a living.
All right, Mary, listen. So Naomi Wildman, the child, and Seven are hanging out because Seven's kind of her like surrogate auntie.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And somehow they end up in the mess hall. Is Neelix even in this?
Yeah.
No.
He actually says,
there's no more marsupial pudding.
There's no more marsupial surprise. Marsupial surprise.
I'm sorry, but there's no more marsupial surprise. We only had 2 kilos of pouches to begin with, and it's all gone. Now, how about some pizza, huh?
Honey.
The pizza sounds better. I had a marsupial surprise once. I was with this dude. He was from Australia. Bitch, he bent over, showed me his hole. Little kangaroo jumped out. I said, oh, shit. There was a Joey in the pouch. I said, marsupial surprise. Bring on the pizza.
Marsupial surprise.
Bring on the pizza.
Also, you, I've been told that you had some big army man actually put his hands in your mouth and do like a horse examination on your teeth.
Well, he was checking my teeth. He
was a veterinarian.
Oh, bitch, that ain't fair. Give that horsey back his hair.
It's like, oh, I think you have a cleft palate.
No, I don't know how his hands ended up in my mouth.
Let's check your teeth while you're down there.
That's a drag king named Cliff Pallet.
Cliff Pallet.
It's Cliff Pallet.
Yes.
Co-starring with Uta Hagendas in Star Trek Voyager, Survival Instinct. We got to get to this episode.
So look, listen. So there's all these people on board Voyager, but the 3 individuals that we are going to focus on for this episode are Vaughn Armstrong as Lancer, Bertila Demas as Marika. By the way, Marika.
It's pronounced Bertija.
Yes, as Marika. Marika is also a nasty word for faggot in Spanish. Marica, which I thought was funny.
She also sang Toy Soldiers.
Tim Kelleher as Pishan. Now, the whole episode, I'm thinking the Vaughn Armstrong character, Lancer, I thought that was Frank Langella. He looks just like Frank Langella. He was the older guy, right? Yeah. And I thought he was giving body, older guy. But so as it turns out, these three are trying to get to 7 of 9. We are unsure why, possibly to do her harm. We don't know why. As it turns out, these are also 3 ex-Borg that have been freed from the collective. And 8 years ago, while they were still Borg,
They escaped
the collective, right. Correct. And 8 years ago, while all of them were still Borg, they crash landed on an away mission. These 3 Borg and 7 of 9, they were all within her unimatrix. So she was 7 of 9, and then you have, 1
of 9 and 3
1 of 9, and the rest of them. And they crash land on this planet and become severed. Their link to the collective becomes severed, and slowly they all begin to reassert their individuality.
Their memories come back to them.
Their memories come back to them.
I am a member of Species 571.
You said I am a member of Species 571.
There are no individuals here. We are Borg.
You're getting all of this in flashbacks. Now, we don't know any of this yet, but it comes along in the story, and the story moves on from there. But that's kind of like the background.
Right. And so the guy you thought was Frank Langella, he comes up to Seven and Naomi in the mess hall and opens a briefcase, and Seven is immediately like, yo, I want this. Janeway will pay you whatever. And they're little nanoprobe things from her unimatrix. They're Borg technology. Her
implants.
They were implants, but also memory engrams as well, something like that.
And she desperately wants them. One of the things I love most about that mess hall scene, Naomi says to the dude, "What's your name?" And he just walks away, and she's like, "That was rude."
That was rude.
I was like, you better do a child actress.
Telling him, acknowledging rude behavior from adults.
Yeah, rude.
But also like Miss 7 of 9, like I love how she's the surrogate daughter, of course, of Janeway, but almost like a kept woman as well, because she's like, Janeway will pay you for these, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And she just walks off with them.
Yeah, if she can untangle her fucking hair from that plant.
It's got me by the hair.
Yeah. What if they want half of the warp drive? She's like, she'll give you whatever you want.
Well, she's swept up in the emotion of it.
She is, and she looks horrified when she sees these components.
But fascinated.
And they were a part of her. Like they weren't just like, this wasn't technology that was part of this was part of her body. So she's gagged. Right. She's gagged.
She's gagged and she's gooped. Yaddy. Can we talk about the three of the other former Borg drones? So as you said, there was Frank Langella, looked like
Vaughn Armstrong Lancer,
Marika. She's wearing fabulous boots. Did you get into
she's
the
the Morma.
She's kind of the Morma / sister.
And she looks like she is Bajoran.
She is Bajoran.
His hair.
How did nobody notice a Bajoran bitch on the ship?
In
the Delta Quadrant.
Including Seven, because Seven knows who the Bajoran are. Right. Because she has all that knowledge.
Right. So she like recognizes these implants, but doesn't recognize these people right away. But Martika is wearing fabulous.
Marika,
whatever.
Marika.
It's wearing.
Honey, what are you saying the name, or are you calling Miss Honey a Marika?
What is her fucking name?
Marika.
Okay. So Martika is wearing these fabulous blueberry colored boots. Did you get into the boots?
The boots are cute.
And for some reason, a beret.
And then Tim Kelleher as P.F. Chance. No, I'm sorry, as P. Chan. I'm sorry.
Pachan. Spicy.
Pachan.
Booby, what did you make of these 3 goons?
They were high.
Daddy
was fab.
Yeah, I would have hit Daddy. Like even with the Borg implants and the scars, and I would have hit it. And did you notice?
Like, bring it.
Bring it. And did you notice that Daddy is the same race as Icheb, who has not shown up yet?
Yes, with the
same
split,
race.
Split down the middle face.
Oh, honey, he could split me down the middle.
Yeah, clearly that race is cute.
But let's keep it in context. He was because it was slim pickings in the Delta Quadrant. Let's be honest.
No, that was a sexy daddy. I actually looked him up. He's 70 years old now, and he's still handsome.
Which means at the time of filming, he was younger than you are.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah,
you
that
suck.
That sucks hard. That sucks hard. And who's the third one with the bubble head? Bashan?
Chan. P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang. Okay. So he's kind of like he's the one that gets his memories back first.
And he's emotional. Like he's the most emotional of the three.
He felt for Seven big time.
Right.
Like he didn't want to hurt her.
He does not want to damage her because they so listen, what's happening is for some reason these three drones were able to escape the collective, but they are still connected to each other. So they're not quite individuals, they're almost there.
They're a little mini collective of the three of them.
Yes. And so they've got no peace. They dream each other's dreams. They finish each other's sentence. They hear each other's thoughts. There's no moment of peace because they're always aware of each other.
All up in each other.
Oh, they're all up in each other. Exactly. And they are seeking to break the bonds
the ultimate
between them.
throuple. They're like like really polyamorous, like a throuple. And mind you, so if they are constantly in each other's heads and thoughts and feelings and dreams and no privacy, and they're over it, and they're like, Martika, we are tired of you dry humping yourself, thinking about this, that, and the other, and your boots and your beret.
Scissoring 9.
Oh, shit.
7 and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're kind of sharing a brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And so their plan is to somehow get Seven connected to their interlink because somehow she holds the key to unlock them.
To break the link. Right. And then later on, the captain posits an interesting question, which is, if they're going crazy because it's the three of them in this collective, how is it that you don't go crazy when it's billions of voices in the collective? And Seven goes, it's because it's billions of voices, it just becomes white noise in the background. Mm-hmm. But since it's only the three of them, it's right in your face.
Right.
And I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. I thought that was an interest. I'd want to break the bond too. Yeah.
It makes sense. So these three lunatics, Miss Purple Boots, Hot Daddy, and Big
Miss Purple what? Miss Purple
Boots. Martika.
Oh, Boots.
What'd you
Purple Boots.
Oh.
Not Miss Purple Boobs.
Well, we don't know.
Girl.
Can we take...
all Bajoran have purple boobs? You just never found out about it.
Well, first of all, let's get into it.
Yes.
What they are wearing when these three are on Voyager, their outfits are all made of carpet swatches. Okay.
Oh my.
Texture, wool.
Texturized.
It looks real itchy. So their nefarious plan is to stomp onto Voyager wearing these carpet swatch fabrics and fashions, okay? And they're going to somehow take down Seven, so they attack her when she's regenerating.
But I got to say that Tuvok like he is an excellent security officer because they think that they've got the security protocols beat. And the second they start their mission, you see Tuvok on the bridge like
there's something wrong.
Yeah, and he instantly knows something, and he calls over Chakotay, and they're working on it right away. And like within seconds, they're like, "We have a security breach, but we're not exactly sure where. But they're finding out." So they start their little experiment on Seven, and Seven is regenerating. The experiment brings Seven out of regeneration, and the first thing she says is, "I will not comply." I was like, yes, mama, yes.
It's got me by the hair.
And then Tuvok shows up seconds later and stuns them.
And then we get into why they are doing this. So apparently, when they were on this planet, getting all of their memories back and their individual booby, what? When they were regaining their individuality.
Why do you say booby? You're the one fucking up.
Miss Thing, you don't see the little icons?
What icon?
Oh, I don't see any icons.
So tired. Miss Booby is so tired.
Oh, Booby's doing her thing. Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Did I mention I have a concussion? Okay.
Maybe you're seeing those icons and they're not really there.
What? Oh, I see two icons that aren't there. Trust, bitch.
Oh,
okay.
But yes, icons nonetheless.
Mostly less. Okay, so when they were on that planet where they had crashed, regaining their individuality and their memories, Seven kind of freaks out. Right. So somehow she goes all commando and shit and reassimilates them, basically.
And she reassimilates the three.
Using her nanoprobes.
Right.
Correct.
And she
creates
them in.
A mini collective.
Right. She's the one that locked them in, and she calls for the Borg collective to come and get them.
And they try and fight it. They break the little interplexing beacon so that the Borg can't find them. And then she finds a dying Borg and it frightens her. And she goes about capturing the three that have now run into the forest to try and escape, the Borg. And she reassimilates them into her little collective until the collective shows up. And make no mistakes, not all three of them, but at least one or two of them fucking hate her for it. They hate her.
Oh, definitely two of them.
At least two. One of them is like, nah, I get it. I hear you.
Right.
I forgive you.
He's like,
PF Chang's is cool with it.
PF Chang's is like, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
She's always cool though.
Right. She's like, you're not iconic status, but
yes.
Wait, before we get back into the Borg story for a second, Tom and Harry.
Oh yes.
Get a dressing down from Captain Janeway because while on shore leave, they got into a fight over sports
with the Kimbori.
Yes, on the Marconian outpost.
Right. Okay. Well, Tom has a black eye, looking sexy as hell, and Kim
got a split lip.
He got a split lip, and then his mouth is bleeding too. And so, so they're trying to explain their way out of it, and they're like, well, we were trying to do a cultural exchange, and Janeway's not. She's like, you were looking for a bar.
We wanted to broaden our understanding of alien cultures and
skip the recruiting speech. You were looking for a bar.
You're looking for a bar. Yeah. And I love that. I love that.
Let's keep it real.
Keep it real, guys.
And you know what? Yeah. They do keep it real. They're kind of like, yeah, that's exactly what we were doing. So there was some kind of melee with this giant tennis racket thing, and a bunch of people got wounded.
There was a pre-dawn melee.
Pre-dawn melee. And so Jane was like, you two bridge officers, you're confined to quarters. And as they're walking out, she's like, did you win? And she's like, they're like, yep.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
She's like, that's right. Iconic status Haiti.
But you know what? I love that about her because she confines into quarters because you know what? It's a cultural exchange.
Right.
And you made Voyager look bad. But also there are guests on Voyager that are stealing like little trinkets as well. So shit happens.
Well,
and I love the fact that she wanted them to win.
Plus, Tom comes out of his face at her. He's like, excuse me, Captain, you're the one pulling shit dates. We barely know these people.
You're the one who rolled out the rubber mat. Jesus, lady.
And she's like, you're confined to quarters. Sashay away.
Right. You're confined to quarters, and I'll be there shortly with my mat.
You were looking for a bar. A shit bar. Honey, I'll meet you at the Brown Derby.
Yes. That's where you shit in somebody's hat and they love it. Talk about kink. Honey, no.
This is a family show.
It's a family show. Okay. So
no, Voyager's a family show. This thing.
How does the Doctor come into it? Because I remember I watched it at like 1.5 speed. I don't remember. Booby, you talk.
Let me think. He comes into it when 7 of 9
Wait a minute.
To him.
I'm going to interrupt. When they try to attack her when she's regenerating and they get beat down, is that what puts them into a coma?
No. They come into the Borg alcove and stun these three, and then later
because they're stunning,
and they're in the med lab when we next come back from the commercial break.
When you next see them, exactly. And at that point they explain to the captain and Seven why they're there and what's going on.
Shirtless.
Shirtless and like a spray of completely white chest hair, but sexy, bro.
Down.
You're talking about Martika.
Yes, exactly. and so, and finally they ask for her help, which they could have done from the very beginning. And she gives it to them. She gives it to them because she wants to help them.
But they haven't seen her in 8 years. They don't know how she's going to react. Remember, she's the one that did this to them.
Right. And they actually say to her, why have you not chosen a name? And she said, I chose to keep my designation. And she said, that's not a name. But I think she chose to keep the 7 of 9 name because Annika, she was like a kid. Like she is 7. Like that, she grew up in the collective. And so 7 is her name. Her name really is Annika, but she never uses Annika. And so the captain is like, listen, you want to help these people? We will help these people. You don't want to help these people because they attacked you? We won't help them. And she's like,
fuck it, I'll see you at the bar.
Exactly. She's like, listen, I've got a shit date in 10, make a decision.
Right. Make a decision.
And it's a very special episode of Voyager.
That was rude.
First, they attempt to assess the situation and figure out how can you separate these 3 drones. And as it turns out, it's because of they each have a lapse in memory. And that lapse in memory is because none of them, even 7 of 9, do not recall that it is 7 who re-assimilated them into the collective using her nanoprobes and causing this interlink between them that cannot be broken. For some reason, 7 was able to break it, and that's why they think maybe she could break it again. But as it turns out, she cannot. And so they interlink and they figure out that is what happened. But then now each of them in a coma, and the doctor says, listen, I can bring them out of this coma, and we've got 2 choices. I can separate them, but that separation will cause their death within a month, but they will be individuals, or we can return them to the collective where they will live their natural lifespans, but as drones. And that is the moral quandary that for some reason they let 7 make that decision. I really think that's the captain's decision, honestly, but they let 7 make that decision. And this is where she has that conversation with the doctor where she's like, listen, let's free them. And the doctor is like, listen, do you feel guilty? And that's why you want to free them? Because I made an oath to save lives, not end lives.
Right.
Go on.
Can you revive them?
I could remove the microcortical implants. That would break the link binding them together, but it would also kill them.
Really, the moral quandary is give them a month as individuals
or a lifetime as drones.
As a lifetime as drones. And she goes back and forth. She talks to Chakotay about it. She talks to the doctor about it. And, the doctor's like, listen, what would you do? Would you choose individuality? Or would you choose to go back to the collective? So she goes to the doctor and says, let's wake them up and give them individuality. Right. And the doctor says, hold up. What? Are you doing this because you feel guilty or because you actually want to give them that choice? No, they don't even get the choice. She has to make the choice for them because they're in comas.
But she could never send them back to the collective. Not twice. She wouldn't do it. And you know what? I don't think the captain would either.
Oh, boo.
So Booby.
Sorry.
Chime in here. What are your thoughts so far?
It's a very interesting episode. Yeah.
Okay. So she chooses to have the doctor go ahead and free them and give them a month to live as individuals. And the next thing we know, they're all hanging out. And I was going to say 10 forward. They're hanging out.
But it's kind of like it's the mess, but it's their 10 forward.
The mess hall.
It's the 3 of them. And they're gagging because for the first time,
they don't hear each other.
It's so quiet.
I had no idea you were going to say that. I don't know what either of you is thinking.
It's got me by the hair.
I'd forgotten what it was like to be alone with my own thoughts.
And it makes you think.
What does it make you think, Boo?
How boring life would be without having those voices.
Well, but for them, it's a relief.
They were used to it for so long.
For them, it's a relief.
I guess it's a relief, yeah.
And then 7 comes in to, chit chat with them. And Daddy, whatever his name was, is the first one to book.
I'm leaving.
Like they're not gonna stay together.
Yeah,
this throuple's broken up.
TTYL bitches, don't call me, and I will not call you.
Yeah, and
he doesn't forgive 7.
But he gives her a nod that is saying that I think is saying you made the right choice.
Like you,
yeah, So
and
he's off to go meet Janeway and her rubber mat. And then the second one to leave is
P.F.
Chang.
And he's going to a planet where he wants to just be alone.
Breathe the air.
Right, breathe the air and be quiet, which is like my fantasy too. Except that I'm alone in a gated community in Carmel, California. But he says to her, in my culture, we don't believe in holding grudges. So...
And he forgives her. You can tell he forgives her.
Yeah. And also he has a nice little hug with Martika.
Yes.
Right.
I kind of, didn't you feel like there was love between those two in particular?
They were giving me like a brother-sister vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like there was like affection there.
Right. And then so he takes off and then it's just Seven and Martika. And Seven's like, yo, where'd you get that beret? And bitch, you ain't French. And Marika's like, yeah, but have you seen my blueberry boots? And she's like, not only have I seen your blueberry boots, bitch, I seen your purple boobs. What about it?
Yes. And honey, now show me that blueberry pie right now.
You want a marsupial surprise?
And so Marika, she was a bridge officer on a starship. And she says, she's looking out the window and she says, it's so good to be on a starship, on a Starfleet vessel again. I would like to stay. And Seven informs her that the captain said you can stay for as long as you like. And she says to Seven, you mean as long as I have. And she says flat out, I cannot forgive you for what you did.
I can't forgive you for what you did to us. But I do understand why you did it.
But I understand why you did it.
Right. And you know what? I get it. But also, you have to remember that they were all drones. And Seven in particular had been a drone her entire life and only knew it was such a struggle for Seven to regain her humanity and her individuality. It's taken time and she fought it. So imagine in that moment when it's just 4 lonely drones on a planet, she did what she had to do, and to blame her, I think, is unfair. Well, I get it, but it's so unfair.
The survival instinct of the title was her instinct to reassimilate them into a mini collective, was her survival.
They're all discussing their former lives.
Right. And notice how quickly they snap back to being individuals. Well, it's been 8 years, but
they were also all adults because apparently they say at one point that they've only been separated from the collective for 3 months, those 3 particular drones.
Right.
But they were able to get their but when they went back to the collective, they all stayed in their little mini collective. And so they were able to sort of, I guess, fight their way out.
Right. The 3 of them plotted their way out together.
Oh, wait.
What?
You forgot, but the very end where Naomi Wildman is like,
yes,
do you want to be alone, or I thought maybe you wanted to have some family with you. It was so cute. And she was so
cute. And we also did not go over the moment where earlier in the episode, they're talking
about family.
Yeah, they're talking about family. Janeway says, listen, helping these 3 drones may be dangerous to you. And the question is, do you consider them family? Because people will do things for family that they would never consider doing for other people. And so clearly she considers them kind of distant cousins. But Sevens is dealing with this question for the entire episode. And at one point she meets Naomi in the hallway and she says to Naomi, do you consider me Naomi, child? Why are you crying? No. That's also
little Latin boy in drag.
Why are you crying? She says to Naomi, do you consider me family? And Naomi says, yes, I do. And Naomi says to her, do you consider me family? And she says, I have no objection to that. And I thought it was so sweet. And so at the end, when clearly Seven must feel like shit that these 3 people are going to die because of something she did, Naomi says, hey, I thought you might not want to be alone. Maybe you want to spend a little time with family. And they do. And they just go on about working.
Cute.
So cute. And I think Naomi was a standout here.
She was good in this episode. I will give her that. I will. It was very sweet, and themes of family, which, are recurrent with Seven.
There's a family. There's a little throuple collective right here. That's a family.
Oh, trust bitch. Yeah. And I know what you're thinking. that I'm
Oh,
young
trust.
and lovely, that I'm young and lovely, and y'all bitches can't take it.
Oh, well, clearly the connection isn't as quite as good as you
What?
think.
My interlink, hello.
Yeah.
So I didn't love this episode, but I liked it.
Right.
I thought the ideas were
You liked
strong.
it.
I liked it. I thought the ideas were strong. I thought the acting was always great,
Decent.
as always. I thought the pace was really slow. I thought they could have got there so much quicker. I like the ideas. It was just glacial for me. So I'm going to give it 2.5 blueberry boots.
I don't think it's a standout, but I did enjoy it. I thought Daddy was sexy. I always love seeing Naomi Wildman. I'm gonna give it 3.5 Leola root.
Work, okay.
I liked it.
You liked it.
I liked it. I really did. I liked it.
Booby.
Charge. I'll give it a 2. She's not my favorite, and yes, I do see her as a little slow and
You mean Naomi?
yeah, and the planet scenes were kind of like I wasn't jumping for joy at this episode, so I'll give it a strong 2, maybe 2.25.
2.25. The quarter is the most shady part.
That's the insulting part.
That's like the real shady part. Right.
Yeah. That's like that GoFundMe for Andre Leon Talley, and somebody donated $5 under the name Anna Wintour. Shade.
Oh,
yes.
Is he really going to be homeless?
Oh God, who the hell?
I mean,
doesn't he have coins?
Apparently, he doesn't have the coin that we think he has. But you know what? Like he needs. Apparently, he's 3 million in the bag. In the hole. And you'd fit 3 million in that hole. Trust. I bet you he has enough money to move to a modest little flat.
Right.
You know, he's not going to be homeless, but he may lose that mansion is absolutely beautiful.
Right.
And apparently,
is it?
It's Manolo Blahnik, the people that run Manolo Blahnik.
He was renting it.
Yeah, he was well, he says that the agreement was that he was renting to buy. And they're saying, no, he was just renting to rent.
He better go pull some dates at the Brown Derby, girl.
And there's something very interesting that a man of his stature and a man of, with his career had such bad credit that he couldn't make it happen himself. He had to have these two guys step in for him. I think it's very interesting, and it shows a disparity between races, even when you are successful.
I don't think this is about race, because look at Mama, look at Judy Garland at the end.
She was broke, but she was a drug addict.
Well, first of all,
that's different. Andre Leon Talley's not a drug addict.
It was cute for her.
It was cute for her.
What I'm saying is, if you can't manage your money right, okay, any one of these businesses, showbiz, fashion, they're going to chew you up and spit you out.
Right. So she wasn't handling her coins.
She wasn't handling her coins.
She was, but apparently she wasn't making the coin.
Well, that's
probably what is she supposed to be making.
Well, that's probably
what did she do?
She's
she's a fashion
editor.
She's a caftan model.
Yes.
Honey, the caftans.
She got caftans.
I ain't one to talk, but
girl, honey, like let's just it's pup tent time.
Girl, she's putting the moo in moo moo.
Yeah, she big, girl.
MOON.
That spells Andre. Mama.